Co. Ju went looking palace he could sell the Buddha statue, in which he came across the antique art center. The antique art owner looking at the statue told SEO Ju that this is probably not even worth 50 bucks. You should just stick it somewhere as decorations. Really? That shouldn't be right, answered SEO Ju. Trust me, with one look and I can tell. No one buys stuff like this. Co. Ju looking at the statue and sweared that that bastard Mr. Park Kyung-tae is really gonna meet his family tree this instant. The way he acted as if this thing was worth $1 million and is a cheap fake. For that, it's an act if felony to the law, and for deceiving me and forgery of pretense that amounts to 3 million yen. Plus 300% interest profit and 100% tax for me. SEO June. Walking through the art store looking back, doubting the art owner's judgment. Holding the Buddha statue with both of his hands, looking at the Buddha statue. His instinct felt like the Buddha statue was worth some money at least, or did I make a mistake because I don't have the archaeologist relic? Thought SEO June. While holding the Buddha statue, a suspicious essence began to pour out of the statue. A system tab appeared due to his SPI skill Git activated in front of SEO Ju Heon, which surprised him by the system saying some essence of energy getting emitted by the Buddha statue. I get it already now, of my face I can't see clearly. So what you are saying there, something in the statue. So what you are saying, the Park siblings are smuggling things this way. For that is theft and money. Heist, tactical smuggling. For that I must unfortunately add another 500,000 yen fine. This charges keep increasing. It's so sad when people don't seek enlightenment. So that is absolutely about, I knew that 300 kilogram of a human, Mr. Park, was shaking in his boots over losing some statue. If the contents here are much valuable, it will erase their fine, said SEO June, shaking the Buddha statue. Shall we open and see what is inside? He said, drawing out his knife, tapping the relic with it. I don't know about you, my fellow viewers, but do you guys want to open anything either? A package number. One thing you think of is year. Let me take out the knife. If you do, please get help. You are the danger itself. I mean, you are the definition of danger lurks everywhere. He threw the Buddha statue upwards, with precise and accurate slashes and cutting through the Buddha statue with inhuman speed and reflexes, even shocking a customer whom came out from the store shopping, thinking it was going to be a casual day, but no, our boy SEO Ju is seriously dissecting a Buddha statue to oblivion with godlike. Bottle with liquid got revealed. It fell and rolling on the ground looking at it, SEO Ju. The tax collector thought was an illegal drug ready to add and increase the fee of the Park brother and sister duo. Shaking the bottle, looking at it, thinking it must be an illegal drug. Disposing of a crucial rug to my disposal without any heads up, making the victim as me be the plug is such an offense which is punishable by 10 whips and 5 million yell as compensation and trauma to the victim, and another 100 million IN as an apology, and to pay for a therapist medication and to hoy to hospital to see if I don't test positive to broke ass syndrome. The person who came from the store was stunned, sweat from his cheek, wishing SEO Ju doesn't see him, thinking, I don't know what kind of Valdrew has into, but Pauls don't see me, thought the person behind SEO Ju. This must be pretty good stuff and expensive to be well hidden. This stuff must be more and cost too much money. The more illegal it is, the more money I bag. If it's banned in the country, the better. Are the Park sibling involved in drug trafficking? Too, thought SEO Ju, holding the bottle close to his chest, throwing glances around his surroundings. SEO Joe walked looking at the bottle, brother. Not sure if illegal drug, just walking casually, looking at it in public. Recalling that the Park siblings had owned hundreds of art pieces. What if all of them had drugs in them? Walking with proud face, G called his big brother Jeon Woo. He was going to send justice and eliminate his first enemy first, with a smile on his face like a cheerful child. Because the reward for reporting drug trafficking is like $100,000, right? Asked SEO Ju. back at Ixiang Gallery, where the Park siblings had been seriously making Escobar proud by their drug trafficking. The elder sister of Park is on the phone with sweat dripping on her face. She's saying, "That's not case, Mr. President. I assure you, the goods aren't ready. Really, I, the narrator, doubt SEO Jew, bled your brother's wallet dry." Continuing talking, saying the R, watching them. The person whom Mrs. Park called president yelled at her extremely loudly, walking to the corner, lowering her voice, saying, "Yes. Yes, I'm really sorry. I will contact you at the moment for an update." Furiously, she shouted, "You white-headed potential patient of the afterlife. Why would I pocket the money for myself? I hope you choke at your own spit, you lifeless mummy." Sound of the store swanged opened with a annoyed face which was filled with rage. Turning, "And where the fuck have you been? Did you recover the Buddha?" she shouted at his brother, whom looked beaten up with handcuffs on his hands, and two people behind him whom physical body are well trained, one of them being SEO Jew elder brother Geon-woo, whom was the one on the right. His younger brother with tissues on his nose with shaky voice saying, "Be big, sis." They got everything were ruined. Her sister, after she heard her brother's words, sweat dripped down her face, saying this, "What's the meaning of this?" Telling her were her because we received a tip that you were smuggling and distributing drugs, said Jeon-woo, walking forward, showing his badge, which was in his wallet, which contained his detective badge, to the elder sister of the Park. What drugs? "We only deal with art. We're law-abiding, tax-paying citizens," answered the eldest sister of Park. He said, "Why do all criminals always say the same thing? It's amazing. We've already collected necessary evidence." Jeon-woo reveling the bottle in which SEO Ju had found inside the Buddha statue. "And we know that this isn't everything you store most in your warehouses, correct?" added Jeon-woo, which shocked Mrs. Park to the core by this revelation. And how does he know such information? With a witch expression on her face, she said to herself, "Did these bastards find out the Gyeonggi province warehouses too? Even if they find each room had a security code, so it should be fine," she thought. The eldest sister began to defend herself, saying to Jeon-woo, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't accuse people when you don't have any evidence." In which Jeon-woo looked at her with smile at his face. Mrs. Park, with her confidence increasing to prove her innocence and intimidate Jeon-woo. She contained, "You think just because you're police, you can come here and mess with someone else's business?" Her sound kept increasing. She continued to talk. Jeon-woo took out his walkie-talkie, and which sound of another police officer said, "We've finished checking the 600 pieces of artwork found at the Hwaseong City warehouse. We found drugs in all pieces." In panic and yelling, she shouted, "With a minute you opened all the rooms in the warehouses? How is that possible? Every room has a different security code. You're right, they did. But we have our ways." He answered her, smiling innocently. Bro putting the most innocent expression, about to send her to a life sentence and she will get fined 1,000,000 won. Continuing, he told her thankfully, "We had some help from an inside man," in which we see how the police were able to access the warehouses which had different code due to SEO Ju's help. One of the polices tell SEO Ju, "There is a room here that hasn't been opened yet." He turned and answered the officer, "Oh, really, show me." SEO June went to the door, began to insert the code. "That's pretty amazing. How do you know all these codes?" One of the officers complimented him. Turning to him, he answered, "I just have a pretty good memory." Recalling back then, but it's true, he has good memory and one of his talent. That's why the Kyungju's aka the Park siblings found him so useful. When he first started to work for them, it was difficult for SEO Joe to navigate to each warehouses because of each had different codes. At that time, he didn't think it was strange, but he thought it was annoying, so he memorized all of the piece codes. "I never thought I will use them in something like these," he thought, after he opened the door, allowing the two officers in with a smirk smile on his face. Reassuring to himself, this isn't the only information stored in his head. Now that I have the reward money, I can use everything I know about roasting the tombs and collect relics. Laughing villainously in low tones, One of the officer in disgust manner, he said, "Wow, look what we have here." Raising the same illegal fug in a bottle, saying when there be two, the other saying these bastards got some huge balls. Officer turned and thanked SEO Jew, saying you helped us with a big burst. SEO Jew answered it was my pleasure after sending one of his enemies to solitary prison. SEO Jew asked the two officers for a favor in which they were surprised by his request. Two men taking the Park siblings away. The elder sister shouting, "This is ridiculous! GERT! Off! I said let go of me!" She yelled, looking at Jeon-woo, whom was in a phone call which was SEO Jew wanted to talk to him. Asked one of the officers who were with SEO June at the other end of the call. "Hey there, Mr. Inside Man." "What? Oh. Ha 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 ha," said Jeon-woo, trying to keep everything low-key in a cool manner. Jeon-woo called out, "Oh, I woman, 1 second. My inside man wants to talk to you," said Jeon-woo, raising his phone with a smile on his face. You may say apples from different tree, but of the same character. She put the phone close to his ear and SEO Jew voice sounded with the most comforting, heartwarming words saying, "Hello, you old netherworld witch, you should have treated me better. When someone works for you, you should pay them properly," he's said, looking at the phone trying to gasp and recall that familiar yet annoying voice, them. It clicked, and she shouted, "Ju Hyun, did you do this? You deaf bitch, do I sound like fairy to you? And please switch your password every 6 months." He answered her. SEO Joe. Finishing his touches, he said anyway, "Enjoy your life in jail and tell your brother not to drop the soap. There has been an increase of serious backshoot lately, same goes to you." She was shocked by the revelation. "Hey, SEO Joe, I'll get you for this. This, how you pay me after what I did for you, you bastard." She yelled, been taken away by the two officers. It's already nighttime, the city's lighting illuminating the darkness. Walking in an alleyway, he said to CEO Ju Hyun, said to himself, "Man, that felt good and hope they take my advice to consideration." He's phone vibrating in Gis pocket, checking to see who the hell it is. Seeing it, his brother Geon-woo telling him he'll get his $100,000 soon, and he's proud of him and use his hard-earned money wisely. Smiling to see his brother cared about him and worried at the same time. "He doesn't need to worry, I have got the money, I'll have to get starey looking for the tombs," said with a smile, with hand on his pockets. With a serious look on his face, he assured himself, "I'm going to find the relics before that Taejun bastard does. I have to, I must." Seeing what is ahead of him, he was shocked. What the... Where's my house confused, shocked when a large boom occurred in the ground, raising the land.